Tonight, back from the clutches of death, the incredible survival story of South Australia's coronavirus miracle man. A letterbox drop catches the state government playing politics with lifting restrictions. Wild weather launches a roof into the air, catapulting it into a stable filled with racehorses at Morpheville. And the law catches up with a troublesome teen who came off second best in his stolen car.
This is 10 News First Adelaide with Rebecca Morse.
Good evening. The last recovered COVID-19 patient has finally left the Royal Adelaide Hospital. The 68-year-old was also the first in the state to have been admitted to intensive care, fighting an immense battle to defy the odds that even medical staff thought were stacked against him.
A guard of honour for an emotional farewell. Paul Faraguna on his feet leaves the Royal Adelaide Hospital after 37 days in intensive care, critically ill with coronavirus he contracted on the Ruby Princess cruise ship.
You going okay?
Yeah, no worries.
You want to keep walking?
I'll tell you when.
Yeah, tell us.
It's a moment his family have prayed for but feared may never happen. At his worst, the 68-year-old was placed into an induced coma for 21 days.
He is one amazing, resilient gentleman who I don't think I've ever seen him be down at all in the whole time he's been here with us.
First admitted into hospital on March 22nd, Mr Faraguna's condition quickly deteriorated and he was the first COVID patient admitted into intensive care in SA.
We honestly didn't think he'd make it through, but to see him come out the other side is the most amazing gift you can have out of this pandemic.
Leaving a letter of thanks for medical staff. Even though I don't remember any of the time that I spent in the ICU, I very much appreciate the caring treatment I received and would like to thank them from the bottom of my heart. Paul Faraguna only took his first steps on his own this week. He now faces a long rehabilitation journey, likely 4 to 6 weeks, to rebuild his strength.
Just watch him get better, definitely a miracle.
Hannah Ford for 10 News First.
The Premier has been forced to defend a mail-out survey asking the public which restriction they'd like lifted first. The opposition says it goes against the Premier's continual claims he's following expert health advice when it comes to reopening society.
If you had the power, which restriction would you lift first?
I think the footy's probably good. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone loves it, good atmosphere.
Yeah, the pub, 100%, just the pub. Yeah, I want to go to the pub right now.
International travels. My father came just for 15 days. He's stuck here.
My son's about to turn 1, so it'd be nice to have more than 10 people at his birthday party.
The state government wants the public to come to the party, dropping surveys in letterboxes across Adelaide, asking residents to rank from 1 to 7 which order they'd like to see bans eased on sport, travel, concerts, weddings and hospitality. That's despite the Premier regularly saying he'll be guided by health experts.
I thought that we were following the expert advice of the Transition Committee in terms of how restrictions should be eased, not playing a political popularity contest.
We'll look at the health advice, social issues as well as the economic issues.
The opposition claims the surveys have been predominantly distributed in marginal seats over the past 48 hours.
Is this in fact just a Liberal Party campaigning opportunity to try to use COVID-19 to boost their Liberal Party stocks?
The survey results will make clear where the community's priorities lie, but the Premier insists the data gathered won't be useful in influencing other government decisions outside of the pandemic.
I think it's really important for MPs, Labor, Liberal, Green, crossbenchers to be out talking to communities and feeding that into government.
Chloe Boris for 10 News First.
An Adelaide horse trainer's had the fright of her life as wild weather ripped the roof from her home, tossing it into stables nearby. Fortunately, none of her precious racehorses was injured.
5:30 at Morpheville, seconds after nature strips a newly renovated roof and hurls it into a backyard.
The roof just blew off.
I've never heard anything like it. Power here. Be careful. Be careful.
Yeah. I don't know what to touch. I don't think I should touch anything.
Paula Trenwith and her partner Adam were waiting for the cold front to hit, and when it did, completely blew them away.
We heard this almighty roar.
And then Paula come out, she screamed, and I come out not far behind her and noticed our roof on our back stables.
Panicking, she raced over to check on the 5 horses inside.
Yeah, they were pretty frightened last night because obviously it was a really big noise.
SES crews strapped down a tarp to prevent rain from flooding through the gaping hole.
A few showers come through, but the hail that people kept talking about didn't arrive, so hopefully we dodged the bullet.
Precious racing memorabilia removed from the living room just in case.
Everyone just came, grabbed trophies like Cox plate stuff that Paula's had, that are irreplaceable sort of stuff.
Also irreplaceable is their pet Shetland pony Chocolate, who emerged unscathed and enjoyed a rare chance to graze in the front yard. 2 more horses are arriving here from Melbourne tomorrow, ahead of Saturday's Morfettville races.
It is what it is. No one's hurt and we're insured, so it's just an inconvenience.
An incredibly isolated incident, surrounding properties virtually untouched.
The next door neighbour here's got doors just sitting on the front yard. They didn't get moved. There's wheelie bins in the street, and then I'm just driving along going, my roof's in my backyard.
Cam Inglis for 10 News First.
To breaking news out of Sydney, and a dozen people have been injured by an out-of-control car crashing into a busy shop. Footage has just emerged showing the moment the car pushed another vehicle out of the way in a cloud of smoke before crashing through the front window of a shop selling hijabs. Police are trying to figure out what caused the driver to lose control. A teenager's been arrested after a police chase involving a stolen car came to a crashing end early this morning. The driver lost control at a roundabout, swerving onto the wrong side of the road and smashing onto the curb.
A Ford Falcon flies down the street at high speed as police give chase. Behind the wheel, a 17-year-old boy from Mannum.
I just can't believe that kids at that age are, getting around stealing cars and stuff like that. You wonder, how they're being brought up these days.
A lot of cars do fly up and down here like a bit of a drag strip.
It was just before 2 o'clock this morning when police spotted the ute speeding on Regency Road at Prospect. After tracking the car for half an hour, police caught up with the culprit when he lost control at a Regency Park roundabout. Travelling so fast, he crossed onto the wrong side of the road before crashing into the curb.
If he'd have hit that a bit harder, he probably could have gone straight through and down that ditch and died.
Yeah, look, very scary. And look, the age of the boy, why? You know what I mean? Life's too short.
The boy, who legally can't be identified, was arrested and taken to the Royal Adelaide Hospital with minor injuries. Police checks revealed the car had been stolen from Murray Bridge earlier last night. The teen's expected to be charged with a string of offences, including dangerous driving. The Police Commissioner today condemning the behaviour following a number of high-speed pursuits this week.
It is one of the most dangerous activities that police officers become involved in. It's dangerous to police, it's dangerous to the community, and it's dangerous to the people who instigate these activities.
And drivers are being reminded there are extra eyes on the roads.
We're also deploying police to high-risk areas, and we're focusing on distraction and speed.
Tiffany Warren for 10 News First.
And police are searching for a driver who fled the scene of a crash at Blair Athol. Security cameras captured the Honda sedan ploughing into a delivery car parked out the front of a pizza shop on Main North Road around 3 this morning. The force of the impact sending the delivery car into the front window of the laundromat next door. The driver then abandoned his vehicle in a nearby side street.
That's affected basically my delivery service for today, but we'll be up and running immediately from tonight onwards.
No one was injured and both shops have been able to reopen. A warning about some confronting vision in our next report. For the first time, we can show you the terrifying standoff that occurred between 2 armed South Australian brothers and police at a Murray campsite last year. The officers' body cameras capturing the moments they had to shoot the pair in order to bring them in.
It was never meant to play out this way.
Show us your hands. Just put your hands up. All right, it doesn't have to end like this, mate.
Officers went to the campsite on the Murray River to arrest Joshua Clavel, but he and his brother Joel rammed a police vehicle, injuring an officer. Then they stepped out, brandishing a knife and a tomahawk. Joshua was shot 3 times.
Joel! We can't help the brother unless you put the weapon down. Pardon? Nah.
He charged at police. Joel was shot 3 times. Both brothers survived and have pleaded guilty to a combined 9 charges. The body camera footage was played to a county court judge today. Police members were in fear of their safety and the safety of their colleagues, she said. The brothers had been camping on the Murray River for the month of Ramadan, and while these crimes are not being treated as acts of Muslim extremism, Joshua had come to the attention of counter-terrorism officers. And as the judge noted, it doesn't need to be extremism in the terrorist sense for me to be concerned about the animosity towards police. Their father was Rodney Clavell, who staged a 12-hour siege at an Adelaide brothel in 2014, which ended when he took his own life. The pair will be sentenced at a later date. Candice Wyatt for 10 News First.
The private provider in charge of the care of Kensington Park woman Anne-Marie Smith has been fined by the NDIS Commission. Ms Smith, who was entirely unable to care for herself, died in April after at least a year of severe neglect. But Integrity Care has not been fined for any breaches of her management. Rather, it must pay $12,500 for failing to notify the NDIS Commission of her death. A raft of other investigations, including one by police, are ongoing. MFS crews were called to a car fire at Brompton overnight with the vehicle parked in a driveway. There are fears it would spread to the home, but the small blaze was quickly extinguished. Well, Goodings has your look ahead to sport. Now, the Crows are vowing to be on their best behaviour at training now.
Yeah, I think golf's out, Beck. I think we can safely say that, with the players set to spend an extra month at home before heading to Queensland. Club boss Andrew Fagan says they've more than learnt their lesson from the Barossa training breaches. That's ahead in sport. Also, the Power players finally get the chance to reflect on the win that has them top of the ladder. And the Thunderbirds could be the latest South Australian side preparing for life in an interstate hub. It's all ahead in sport, Beck.
Catch you later. Thank you, Will. There could be a bank balance bonanza for the nation's casual workforce. That story's still to come. A destructive cyclone triggers a humanitarian crisis. And toxic smoke billows as a recycling plant goes up in flames.
Chopsticks at the ready.
We would like you to pimp up these instant noodles.
Your 2-minute noodles are getting a MasterChef makeover.
My mouth is tingling.
All I can say is wow.
The pimped up 2-minute noodles, tonight on 10. And in MasterChef's Best Dish Week, what will be the greatest ever dish?
My God.
Wow.
The espresso capsule from Law, the aluminium capsule designed to fit your Nespresso machine. Discover Law capsules and be captivated by a gold standard espresso.
It's Dreamland's Red Tag sale and we're seeing red.
With up to 50% off all Red Tag products, including ensembles, mattresses and bedroom furniture, it's Red Tag savings across all 6 Dreamland stores.
Think you can beat Dreamland's Red Tag sale? You're dreaming.
If I could give them 1 million stars, I would.
Another real review from a happy Aussie broadband customer. With thousands of 5-star reviews, an award-winning NBN network and all Australian support, we're shooting for the stars. Aussie Broadband. Can't beat feedback.
Protect your gutters from leaves and debris with All Seasons Gutter Guard. Right now, when you buy 50 metres of All Seasons Gutter Guard, you'll get the first 10 metres free, plus a free gutter clean. Visit allseasonsgutters.com.au.
Prepare for your great escape with Jayco. Dealerships are open and ready for your next adventure. With great deals across the entire range, there's an RV for every budget and every adventure. Need finance? We can help with that too. Get ready to escape and visit your local Jayco dealer today.
Mandarin, Mandarout, Mandarin, Mandarout. Easy to peel, fresh Aussie Imperial Mandarins are now on sale. Aldi, good, different.
Harvey Norman, your premium Optus dealer. Receive a $700 Harvey Norman gift card when you sign up to a new service on the Optus $65 per month SIM-only plan for 24 months with 80 gigabytes of data for use in Oz. That's right. Sign up to a new service on the $65 per month 24-month Optus SIM-only plan and you'll receive a $700 Harvey Norman gift card. Offer ends June 30. New services only, not available with other offers. Harvey Norman, your premium Optus dealer.
Monday, Hayley, Mick and Anne are ready to rumble with Ed and Sam. On You, have you been paying attention?
Tonight, ensuring you're at a safe social distance is hard enough, but what about for those who are legally blind?
And forget Gen Y and millennials, could you be part of the boomerang generation?
And premiers battle it out in a full-blown border brawl. The only way I can see this being sorted out is bringing back It's a Knockout.
Oh, that's an excellent idea. All that and more coming up at 6:30.
The world has recorded its highest number yet of positive COVID tests in a single day. That's more than 106,000 new cases. The majority of those are in the United States, Russia, Brazil and India. And earlier today, known global infections passed 5 million with 327,000 deaths.
We're very concerned about the rising numbers of cases in low and middle-income countries.
The true number of cases is thought to be significantly higher, especially in developing countries where the testing is limited. At least 20 people have died and thousands more have lost their homes as Cyclone Amphan smashed the coasts of India and Bangladesh. But mass evacuations saved millions more.
A wall of wind rips the roofs off buildings and sends homes tumbling as trees buckle at their roots. Locals sought shelter wherever they could as Cyclone Amphan made landfall with brutal force. Many hunkered down in the dark as it toppled power lines and sparked electrical fires. The deadly weather system formed in the Bay of Bengal 6 days ago, barrelling towards India and Bangladesh at nearly 200 kilometres an hour before crashing into the coast last night. Seawater surged 17 kilometres inland, flooding homes and farms that were already drenched by heavy rain. Thousands are feared homeless and more than a dozen people have been killed, but it could have been much worse. A mass evacuation effort spared more than 2.6 million residents, but authorities fear they've moved many out of the path of one disaster into the arms of another. Evacuees were packed together in rescue centres in an area where the threat of COVID-19 looms large.
No social distance is maintained there. For that reason, the fear of coronavirus spread is persistent.
Now, a waiting game, as both countries try to rebuild and assess the fallout of fighting a crisis on two fronts. Amber Caneen for 10 News First.
A state of emergency has been declared for parts of the US state of Michigan after days of heavy rain caused 2 dams to burst. Tens of thousands of people have been evacuated and floodwaters have swallowed dozens of homes.
Experts are describing this as a 500-year event. It's going to have a major impact on this community and on our state.
The floodwater has also reached a large chemical complex, raising fears of a broader environmental disaster. A huge fire broke out at a plastic recycling plant in northeast England. 20 crews battled for hours to put out the blaze, which sent thick, toxic smoke into the air. It's not clear what sparked it. Sporting clubs across South Australia are back out at training this week in Cape Freeman tonight. Luckily, they've got some dry weather for it.
Yeah, Beck, it wasn't the best welcome back to training this week for the Broadview Football Club. They've been out there getting wet and getting hailed on, but tonight it is dry, although it is still really cold. But the guys out there do not care at all. They are just very happy to be back out at training. Winter's only a couple of weeks away, which means citrus season is here. This week, oranges grown in Loxton were delivered to the kids at Mercedes College, giving them big orange grins, and tomorrow they'll go out to students through the Riverland. This year, Market Fresh SA is running a statewide campaign to deliver 2 tonnes of delicious South Australian citrus to students during winter. And good news for everyone, the 2020 crop is looking bigger and juicier than last year.
As the kids get into their winter sports and we head into the cold season, oranges provide a great vitamin C boost, so it's great to chuck them in their lunch boxes, give them to them as they're playing sports.
Well, here in the northeastern suburbs, it should stay dry tonight, but if you're down south or in the hills, there is the chance of a light shower. The showers are most likely tomorrow. We're looking at somewhere up to 8 millimetres of rain. Beck, I'll be back with all of the details live from Broadview at 5 to 6.
See you then. Thank you, Kate. New hope for South Australia's unemployed as job ads jump by more than 25%. That's up next. And thousands of Australia's casual workers set for a huge payday. Plus later, Australia's new energy roadmap revealed, but my critics say we're headed in the wrong direction.
What are you hoping that a dog will bring to your life?
Oh, happiness. My wife's been very ill. She passed away. Before she passed away, she said, get yourself a little dog.
What a lovely day now. Perfect day to meet a new dog.
This is Ruby.
She's come in to us because her owner died.
When she came in, she was dragging her tail. She's coming to you now.
Oh, thank you.
That was when her tail went up. Means that she's happy with us.
Yeah.
I think this is what his wife envisaged when she said, go and get yourself a little dog.
It's a match made in doggy heaven. 7 o'clock Saturday on 10.
While we're all having nights in, make yours a big night in. Because this year you could win up to $8,000 worth of prizes from a huge range. Woolworths Big Night In. There's a new winner every day.
This month at Bob Burns Blinds, save up to 50% on roller blinds, vertical drapes, awnings, curtains and more. Secure your home with security doors starting at $3.99. All this month at Bob Burns Blinds.
One look at South Australia's CTP choices shows that SGIC wears the state colours on their sleeve. The wonders of data, eh? Choose SGIC, helping South Australians since 1972.
There are two ways to choose a new SUV. Old thinking, buy what you've always bought. New thinking, buy one on merit like the Havel H2. Old, pay a lot more for premium features. New, 7-year warranty, panoramic sunroof, Apple CarPlay and more for your money. Old, low price means less quality. New, German engineering, Swedish safety tech and European design. Havel H2 Auto, new car thinking from $22,990. Test drive today at Adelaide City Havel.
Avoid termites eating away at your home. Call now for 20% off a visual termite inspection.
No worries with the team from Murray's.
Meet the revolutionary Sleeping Duck mattress reimagined by aerospace engineers. The first mattress ever to win Choice's Best Overall Mattress 2 years in a row. It comes manufacturer direct, free of marker. Sleeping Duck, incredible quality with incredible value.
Does anti-dandruff shampoo leave your hair dry? New Dove Dermacare Scalp is different. Tiffany used Dove on one side of her hair. The side with Dove is smooth. It fights dandruff and keeps hair smooth and nourished with no compromise. New Dove Dermacare Scalp.
Jimmy's doors are open for business with the hottest deals on home entertainment. Like this Hisense 75-inch 4K smart TV for $19.95. And stock up on movies and TV shows with buy one, get one free on Blu-ray and 4K. Buy in-store, online, click and collect or get it delivered. JP, you've done it again.
At Image Robes, you can get built-in robes designed, made and installed, all on a budget to suit you. Image Robes are the manufacturers, so there's no middleman, with over 40 colours to choose from. Call or visit Image Robes for an in-home measure and quote today.
OK, Dan, you know the drill. No, we don't stop there, Dan. This is new Up and Go No Added Sugar. The goodness of original Up and Go, only now available with no added sugar. Now we're talking, Dan. Now we're talking. New Up and Go No Added Sugar. It's next level goodness.
Your 2-minute noodles
My mouth is tingling.
All I can say is wow.
are getting a MasterChef makeover tonight.
Imagine finding a picture of yourself as a child on a missing persons website.
Oh my God, that's me.
It's one man's shocking reality, his heart-wrenching mission to find out where he came from and his real parents. It's an incredible real-life drama tomorrow on Studio 10.
Hello there. Are we on the road to recovery across the labour market? Seek analysis suggests some promising signs. In the 2 weeks to Sunday, new job ads posted on the website jumped almost 27%. Roles in the consumer services sector, which includes admin and office jobs, hospitality, tourism and retail, recorded the biggest growth. Let's have a look at it in graph form. Now, April's average is the baseline, as it was a real low point. Each colour represents a state. Now, you can see a big dive, and after a flat period in April, job ads are slowly starting to tick back up. But the Housing Industry Association is warning 500,000 jobs are at risk because of the building of new homes, and that it's forecast to drop by almost 50%. COVID-19 has seen a big fall in demand for rentals from international students and migrants, and of course there's economic uncertainty. It says the shock will last several years and requires government support. How did the share market finish up the day? Well, it ended in negative territory. Pokies maker Aristocrat Leisure saw red after COVID-19 casino closures hammered profits. Shares in our miners were down too after China flagged changes to import rules, while Afterpay hit records after revealing it now has 5 million active US customers. A quick look at the dollar. It's down against all the major currencies, buying 65.6 US cents. And that's finance.
Casual workers have had a landmark industrial victory, winning the right to claim sick pay and take paid annual leave. But employers are warning the extra cost will send them broke, so many part-timers will actually lose their jobs instead.
A big win for casual workers.
I hope there'll be more job security.
And a massive blow to businesses.
This decision is unfortunately a driver of uncertainty into the employment market.
The federal court has ruled casuals are entitled to sick and annual leave.
What we have in front of us now is a clear message to every employer. You can't just buy off job security.
The cost? Billions. Experts predict a back bill of $12 billion to both small and big business. Going forward, it will add $6 billion to the wage bill every year.
And if the cost impact is so great that it would cause a lot of small businesses during what is their most challenging time to fold or go into liquidation or have to stand people down, that's not an outcome that's in anyone's mutual interests.
To qualify for JobKeeper payments, businesses had to admit they employed regular and systematic casuals.
Those people are now entitled to annual leave, sick leave, other things that they're now going to have a liability for.
Their honesty could now sink them.
So if JobKeeper was a form of life raft to businesses, then this has certainly put a hole in the side of that life raft.
Government sources have confirmed they want to use legislation to overrule the court decision, but are still weighing up exactly how to do so.
There are some very significant shortcomings in Australia's industrial relations system.
And the last thing the Parliament should be doing is acting as a protection racket to cover for people who've broken the law.
That characterises small business, I think, very unfairly.
And while the federal government can't appeal if one is lodged, Mr Porter says it'll have its full support. Stella Todorovic for 10 News First.
A man shot in the leg by a friend at point-blank range has told a judge his life will never be the same. But it was an unusual outburst by the accused that had the courtroom talking. The details are next. Plus, the penalty for a would-be terrorist who planned a murderous New Year's Eve attack in the heart of Melbourne. And Bon Voyage, a statue spring clean, leads to an AC/DC road trip.
Chopsticks at the ready.
We would like you to pimp up these instant noodles.
Your 2-minute noodles are getting a MasterChef makeover.
My mouth is tingling.
All I can say is wow.
The pimped up 2-minute noodles. Tonight on 10.
With Allianz Comprehensive Car Insurance, we guarantee all the repairs we authorise.
Hey, good to go.
Looks great.
Thanks. Get Get that Leon's feeling. Call or search for a quote today.
Don't miss La-Z-Boy's store-wide super sale. With super savings on La-Z-Boy recliners, modulars, lounges and more. You want La-Z-Boy comfort? Get La-Z-Boy comfort and save. Hurry into Jaffers Furniture and the Chairman now.
Hi guys, notice anything? Look at these greys! For a second I thought, okay Grace, I'm ready to see you, but I'm not. I am not ready for this much grey.
Excellence Creme by L'Oreal Paris.
I don't think there's ever going to be a better before and after.
3 steps for 100% grey coverage and rich, radiant color.
Oh my God, I'm so happy. Boom! Is what I'm talking about. Self-care is self-worth, because now, more than ever, we're all worth it.
Tired of struggling with regular mirrors that don't adjust so you can't get close enough? Need both hands, but you don't have a stand? Can't move in the right direction to see your own reflection? You need My Flexible Mirror, the bendable, light-up magnification mirror that comes to you. Watch, just stick it on and turn the base. The super suction locking mechanism means you can put it on any smooth surface place, horizontal or vertical. Lock it onto any mirror, table or desk. Use in the shower, even on a window. The secret is My Flexible Mirror's super strong articulating arm that's attached with an ingenious ball and socket so it can swivel and rotate for the perfect angle. And look how strong it holds. The mirror is precision crafted with 10 times magnification and crystal clear optics. And with a soft glow LED ring, you'll get picture perfect lighting to highlight every detail. My Flexible Mirror makes shaving, applying makeup, hairstyling, grooming and accessorizing easier than ever before. Plus, men, listen up. The 10 times magnification makes it perfect for giving your beard a detailed trim. Whatever you need to do, My Flexible Mirror comes to you. Plus, the contemporary chrome accents add a lovely modern touch to any room. Similar mirrors can cost as much as $100 and they don't even come to you. But call Global Shop Direct and you can get My Flexible Mirror for the low price on your screen. My Flexible Mirror is the beauty and grooming companion that you'll never want to be without. That's why when you order right now, we'll also send you a second My Flexible Mirror at no extra cost. That's right, buy one mirror, get one more. We know you'll love the magnification power of My Flexible Mirror, but if for any reason you're not satisfied, just send it back within 30 days for a full refund of the product price. Don't miss out on this incredible TV offer. Order your My Flexible Mirror today.
This is Adelaide's 10 News First. Tonight's headlines. Nursing staff at the Royal Adelaide have formed a guard of honour for the patient who was the first in the state to be admitted to ICU with coronavirus and almost 2 months on, today became the last to leave hospital. Dramatic video released showing the moment police were forced to shoot the 2 armed sons of notorious SA fugitive Rodney Clavell. They're facing sentencing over the standoff. And a renowned horse trainer has described the moment wild weather ripped the roof off her Morfettville home, sending it crashing into the nearby stables. A man shot in the kneecap at West Beach in front of horrified onlookers says he will lose his leg as a result of the attack. The shooter has pleaded guilty to firing on his mate, but says it happened after a rude comment was made about his son.
Theo Papadopoulos leaves court bearing deep emotional and physical scars after he was shot in the kneecap at point-blank range by a friend.
Excuse me.
How sore is your leg?
Have a look at it.
He'd been fishing with another mate when he got into an argument with William Cowling on West Beach in February last year. The court heard an angry and drunk Cowling later returned. Wearing a mask and gloves and armed with a gun, he delivered the devastating blow. In a victim impact statement read to the court, Mr Papadopoulos spoke of the everlasting impact the attack has had on him. The battle to save my leg appears to be lost and appears as though it will need to be amputated above the knee. My quality of life is never going to be the same. I will never walk on my own 2 legs. I will never dance, run or kick a ball with the kids. How has your recovery been?
Very hard.
In a last-ditch attempt to explain his actions, Cowling interrupted today's hearing through his lawyer telling the court Mr Papadopoulos set him off that day by making a derogatory comment about his 12-year-old son. 37-year-old Cowling has pleaded guilty to aggravated intentionally causing serious harm and firearms offences. He'll be sentenced next month.
Hopefully the courts deal with him the way that they've dealt with every other person that's disrespected or given no authority to the law.
Caroline O'Day for 10 News First.
A would-be terrorist who planned mass murder in central Melbourne has been jailed for 10 years. Ali Khalif Shir Ali was inspired by ISIS to kill as many people as possible in Federation Square on New Year's Eve 3 years ago. He was arrested after trying to buy a gun from undercover police who'd been watching him for some time. Ali's brother was killed by police while carrying out the deadly Burke Street stabbing attack. Ali claims he's now turned his back on ISIS. Be eligible for parole after serving 7.5 years. A fire in a glass manufacturing warehouse at Aldinga Beach caused $150,000 damage early this morning. CFS and MFS crews were called just after 7 a.m. The blaze, which started in an office, spread to the back of the building, and the roof is believed to have been sparked by an electrical fault. Scott Morrison and his embattled Energy Minister have done a spectacular policy flip on electric cars. After ridiculing the Labor Party for getting behind cleaner cars not that long ago, the government is now firmly on board.
Today, the government released a discussion paper on the technology Australia must embrace for cheap, reliable energy, which helps lower emissions.
This is the first stage in an important process of establishing technology priorities for reducing emissions.
And guess what that includes? A push for more electric cars on the roads. 12 months ago, we were told this.
It's about time this country got in front of the electric car revolution.
Only for the coalition to issue these warnings.
We are going to stand by our tradies and we are going to save their utes.
Taking the choices away from Australians of what car they even are going to drive.
They completely went hysterical, and now it appears that actually what we were saying just a year ago is actually what needs to happen.
Today, the Energy Minister defended the backflip.
Well, I tell you what we attacked and will continue to attack is Labor's policies which tell people what sort of car to drive.
As he now tells people they should drive an electric car. Unsurprisingly, Labor sees benefits in today's policy announcement.
They can take that pathway to the extent that this roadmap does that, well, we will embrace it.
The government's policy is about more than electric cars like this one. It's also about capturing carbon in soils and hydrogen and gas technology. The aim is to be environmentally friendly and economically efficient.
For anyone unclear about today's policy, the paper includes this helpful bubble graph to make everything plain and simple to understand. Clear as mud. Peter Van Onselen for 10 News First.
A Gold Coast boatie who saved a baby whale trapped in shark nets has escaped hefty fines. Django Hopkins freed the young humpback on Tuesday, just minutes before authorities arrived. While he was praised for his good deed, the Fisheries Department deemed he'd breached multiple laws that carry fines of more than $25,000. He's been issued infringement notices but escaped financial penalty. An iconic sculpture of late AC/DC frontman Bon Scott has been dug up from its foundations in WA. The statue driven through the streets on the highway to one hell of a makeover.
Bon voyage to an Aussie rock legend. And it's a long way to the top if you weigh 800 kilos. Bon Scott's iconic Fremantle statue on the move. But don't worry, he'll rock and roll his way back soon.
Well, Bon Scott's such a hero, so they decided he needed a bigger and a better stage to put him up on, you know, where he belongs.
The statue was crowdfunded by fans more than a decade ago, a tribute to the late AC/DC frontman who helped the Perth band take the world by storm.
For it to come here and for him to be one of the most, photographed sculptures perhaps in Australia, it's very humbling for me.
He'll be missing from his usual spot for 6 weeks while it gets a makeover. Dirty deeds, but they won't be done dirt cheap.
Well, Bon's been here since 2008 and he's only ever been moved once before. Originally, he was just across the road, but now
is going on a trip to a storage yard before he comes back here to his new home.
We're going to have a big stage for Bon Scott. He's going to go up there, there's going to be lighting shining up at him.
2 months ago, 150,000 people lined Perth's Canning Highway as part of the AC/DC tribute concert on the very road that inspired the band's hit song. The statue will be placed in a holding yard until the renovation is complete, where it'll receive a little bit of TLC.
While Bon's away, he might get a bit of a tidy up, might get a bit of a polish here and there.
Bon will be back on display in July. Brendan Crew for 10 News First.
Phil Goodings is back. The Crows are on a trust rebuilding mission.
Yeah, Beck, they've been told to be on their best behaviour in the hope that they can eventually convince the government to lift the ban on fly-in, fly-out footy. We'll have more on that ahead. Meanwhile, the Powers reflecting on the positives, finally looking back on the round one hammering of the Gold Coast. And an Aussie basketball star trades skyhooks for fishing hooks, but comes up with nothing in the net.
If you've got a story or pictures you want to share with us, you'll find 10 News First Adelaide on Facebook, Twitter and on Instagram.
We're checking in with Kate Langbrook in Italy next.
Hey, do you like chocolate?
I love chocolate.
Oh, do you love laughing?
Craziest thing I'd ever seen.
Do you love superheroes?
I love you guys so much.
You're going to love Friday night with Jamie and Graham from 7:30 on 10. You'll love to see it.
Hey mate, sign here. Sign here.
Fast track your shop with Repco Home Delivery.
From the fields up north to the oceans west, we comb the land for the food that's best. Taste buds to tickle a whole state to feed. Homegrown goodness, that's what we need. Everyday low prices, any time of year. Trust the mighty South Aussie.
With more of your favourite South Aussie brands, great food lives at Foodland.
Foodland, the mighty South Aussies, yeah.
At Yui, we're all about how you use or don't use your car. So we're giving our clients and new clients temporary relief on their car insurance premiums if they're using their cars less right now. Go to yui.com.au. Yui, you insured.
Introducing Jumpstart by Light and Easy, the simple program that will help fast-track your weight loss success and improve your health.
Within those first couple of weeks, I noticed a difference within myself.
I found results straight away, and for me, Light and Easy has been life-changing.
Jumpstart combines the proven weight loss results of intermittent eating with Light and Easy's delicious, nutritious meal plans. Whether your goal is to jumpstart your weight loss or to simply eat well and improve your health, visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
Even remotely, our home loan specialists can zoom into your home to help you save on your next loan.
Don't miss a moment. New by Solven Duo Syrup is a 2-in-1 formula traditionally used to soothe an irritated throat and relieve an associated dry cough. By Solven Duo, moments uninterrupted. Available at selected retailers.
Hey mate, sign here. Sign here.
Fast track your shop with Repco Home Delivery.
Your 2-minute noodles
My mouth is tingling.
All I can say is wow.
are getting a MasterChef makeover tonight.
Tonight's Sport Report is brought to you by Repco. Get your order delivered to your door. Shop now at repco.com.au.
Good evening. Exactly 2 months after beating the Gold Coast, the Power players only sat down to do their game review today. After a big delay, the exercise is all part of the club's slow return to some form of normality before next month's season restart.
A Thursday game review is abnormal in itself, but going through the footage 2 months after a win is a first for the Power players.
It probably more than anything serves as a bit of a refresher and a reminder for our playing group about the way we play and our type of footy. So a bit of a different one, but it'll get our minds back on the job.
Since that 47-point victory, the Port boys have been quarantined, isolated, told to pack their bags for the Gold Coast and then unpack them for a while longer. The daily chopping and changing all worth it for a footy restart, according to the vice-captain.
There's been no sort of whingy or complaining about the things that have unfolded. Everyone's just sort of adapted to everything as it's come and managed to get on with things.
Although the coronavirus test 2 times a week hasn't exactly been a pleasant concession.
Not the most sort of comfortable experience, I suppose. The swab sort of feels like it's poking around on the prefrontal cortex. It's going that far up into the sinuses.
A round 2 showdown is now the preference of both Adelaide teams. An extra week at home means 7 more days for the state government to soften on its fly-in, fly-out rules. Even though fans won't be allowed in, they'll still feel the heat of the rivalry thanks to the broadcast microphones.
Footy's an emotional game, and if there's an expletive or two that is heard through the microphones on game day, then so be it. I think everyone will be pretty happy to hear that, particularly in the showdown.
Max Burford for 10 News First.
With fly-in, fly-out football still a faint possibility, the Crows players have been told to stay on their best behaviour. After their slip-up in the Barossa, the club knows only a spotless record under current restrictions will give them a chance of convincing the government to allow interstate travel for games.
They made a mistake on that occasion, but I'm sure it was a lesson, not just for our players, but for those right across the country to not slip up, not even for a minute.
Fagan says the only fixture request the Crows have made is that the showdown be played in Adelaide. The AFL is expected to announce the opening rounds tomorrow. Geelong coach Chris Scott has leapt to the defence of Jack Stephen over last weekend's mysterious stabbing incident. He insists the midfielder still has a big role to play this season and is expected back on the track within days.
As Chris Scott surveyed his lot on the training track, the picture surrounding one star remained unclear. Jack Stephen.
We'd like to know the circumstances only so we can help him, so he can help us.
A police investigation remains ongoing and details a mystery, but Scott says the speculation is unhelpful.
Some people have jumped the gun and said that this is an AFL integrity matter and somehow Jack has a case to answer before he's allowed to play footy again. I just think that's assuming the worst in people. And unless you have some information that I don't have, you're probably wrong in making that assumption.
And wrong too in linking his previous mental health battles. Stephen is expected to be welcomed back on the track in a matter of days.
Fun guy. Our players have really warmed to him. He's certainly not your cookie cutter AFL player. He is a little bit different, but I could speak about 30 of our players in a similar manner.
Chris Scott is yet to get a full picture of exactly where his team is at coming out of lockdown. While he hasn't seen any red flags just yet, he likens it to pre-season when every club is supposedly flying. But he believes it's helped several stars, including Selwood, Dangerfield, Duncan and Dalhouse, who all carried niggles into round 1. And with no crowds this year, the Cats are lobbying the league to play all home games in Geelong.
Teams should play their 11 home games where they choose.
They'd be tickled pink to pull that off, just as the coach's better half is with his new look.
Well, I mean, I think it should come off, that's my opinion, but strangely my wife doesn't mind it, so maybe her eyesight's going. Well, she's the boss, that's true.
Katie Price for 10 News First.
With the Lions back training at the Gabba and no noise other than the echo of their own voices, you'd think they'd be well prepared for the AFL's return without crowds. Well, not according to Mitch Robinson, who's still scarred from his round 1 experience.
I was actually shell-shocked and
I didn't know how to take it when I ran out there and there's no crowd, and the only player I could hear was, I think, a Hawthorn emergency player up in the grandstand somewhere yelling abuse at us. So that's the only thing I could hear on the game day.
You'll need to come to grips with it fast, with the AFL set to release its new schedule as early as tomorrow. The Thunderbirds could be forced into an interstate hub to allow the delayed Super Netball season to finally get underway. It's one of a number of scenarios being considered, with the league set to reveal a start date due by the end of the month.
With most of her squad set to reunite within a fortnight, Tanya Obbs will still be without her star imports.
Lanice, Shadeen and Layla are desperate to come back. They do want to play, they want to be involved, and they're training, just as hard as everyone else is currently.
Border restrictions have left 3 international players stranded overseas, but the Thunderbirds remain hopeful they'll be granted travel exemptions.
Ideally, we don't want them quarantining for 28 days, sort of 14 days potentially on the eastern border and then 14 in South Australia, but we'll just work through some of those scenarios.
The entire Adelaide squad could face time in isolation. Moving to an interstate hub could allow the Super Netball season to finally get underway.
We have some mothers within the competition now, some uni students, so all of those things would need to be taken into account.
It's one of 3 scenarios being tossed around by the league, including a full fly-in and fly-out fixture beginning as late as August.
We're deemed safe to do that. Yes, then we would. If the guidelines are in place that we're not able to do that at the moment, we need to respect the decision makers within SA Health.
Super Netball's due to announce a start date on the 31st of May and is considering other changes, including a 2-point shot.
And I'm really excited by that rule. I think it's going to be something that's going to add something different to our game.
Jace Kemp for 10 News First.
Shane Van Gisbergen has produced the first perfect round of the E-Series, winning all 3 races in round 7 to snatch the championship lead. He pipped Cam Waters to take the opener in Charlotte, but it wasn't all smooth sailing at the finish.
Monstrous contact! Van Gisbergen trips over, Waters trips over.
The Kiwi backed it up with a double at Daytona to take a 64-point series lead over Scott McLaughlin. Crashes are an accepted part of the NASCAR game. Still, they can cause a little road rage.
A very unhappy Chase Elliott climbs out of that car. He wants to see somebody first, or...
Yep, he was in position to have a chance to win it.
Oh, boy.
Chase Elliott wasn't the only driver steaming during NASCAR's second race back. Again, there were no fans, but there was at least a fox at the track to enjoy the action, which ended early because of rain. Denny Hamlin was named winner of the shortened event, and he couldn't mask his smile. The NBA's been shut down for more than 2 months now, so with plenty of extra time on his hands, Ben Simmons has turned his talents from skyhooks to fishhooks, from dishing dimes to casting lines, and from making steals to spinning reels.
So far, no success. But in moments, who knows? We could catch the biggest fish in the area in just a matter of moments. Let's check in with Catcherman Simmons. God!
Unsurprisingly, with that technique, Simmons caught nothing but a cold. So to make sure he doesn't head home empty-handed, we'll let him fill his tackle box with our play of the day. He's going to go hungry, Ben, if that's planned for dinner.
I think you can afford to buy quite a few.
Oh, yeah.
Caviar.
You can buy an island.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll catch you later on. The hail has stopped, but it's not the end of our woolly weather. Kate Freeman has the latest for you next. And Adelaide businesses unleashing their creativity to welcome back patrons with everyone safely socially distanced.
The biffo between premiers over state borders next.
Chopsticks at the ready.
We would like you to pimp up these instant noodles.
Your 2-minute noodles are getting a MasterChef makeover.
My mouth is tingling.
All I can say is wow.
The pimped up 2-minute noodles, tonight on 10. And in MasterChef's Best Dish Week, which one of these amazing dishes is the greatest ever dish?
Wow.
They can clear our nose and soothe our throat, but they will never relieve our cough.
No, Willie.
Vicks Vapor Drops.
I'm in the middle of something here.
Willie! Vicks Vapor Drops plus cough can relieve our cough now. Move along. Nothing to see here. Vicks Vapor Drops plus cough.
Everyone loves the bay.
But how about that view from Roslyn Park?
Country blinds, indoor blinds, curtains and shutters too, plus 9 mobile selection vehicles to show them to you just about anywhere.
Everybody loves their country.
Every tub of Haagen-Dazs ice cream starts with 4 simple ingredients, with a selection of the finest flavours, creating a decadent, velvety ice cream. Haagen-Dazs. Take home extraordinary tonight.
A great way to open up your world and improve your well-being is to take things one step at a time. That might mean jumping into a DIY project and getting creative, learning new skills and keeping in touch with your community, finding new ways to connect with family and friends, or getting up and getting active. Take the first step and discover all the support and resources you need at openyourworld.sa.gov.au.
Australia, there's no country like it. That's why all Mobil Synergy fuels were formulated to protect your engine from the first fill. Like a shield against rust corrosion and harmful deposits. Mobil Synergy fuels. Engine protection sorted.
The Posture Chair Company has been making chairs locally, employing South Australians for over 40 years. Our patented comfort technology is internationally recognized in aged care seating, allowing us to build a chair to address your exact needs and guarantees you comfort like no other. Every chair is uniquely tailor-made. And right now, get $400 trade-in on your old chair. Experience the bespoke difference. The Posture Chair Company, the best seat in the house.
When your hair's not weighed down, you can do the day. Introducing new Pantene 0% silicone. Unlike silicone found in ordinary shampoos, new Pantene has nourishing lipids. The difference is clear. New Pantene 0% silicone formula gives you lightweight, smooth hair that lasts through to the next day. Do 0% silicone. Do new Pantene.
As restrictions continue to ease, SA businesses are devising innovative ways to welcome back patrons while adhering to social distancing. For some customers, the new normal might actually deliver a taste of luxury.
VIPP, very important, pool person. Swimming is now socially distant at SA Aquatic Centre, so patrons can expect the star treatment.
You will be given a wristband and asked to proceed through to pool deck, where each customer will have a dedicated lane.
You can book your lane in advance and enjoy 45 minutes in the water without interruption.
You can help minimise contact by using the pool deck for your belongings and avoid using change rooms.
After all that exercise, a restriction-acceptable indulgence. At 1.5 metres long, this 2-kilogram Melba's chocolate treat will help you keep your distance while getting your sugar fix.
Social distancing in a tube, a stick that's 1.5 metres full of your Melba's favourites.
Or it could feed your next movie night. If you've grown tired of the home cinema, you can make the Capri your own.
The distributors haven't yet got content for us to play. We've decided to hire the place out.
For $300, you and 18 friends can take over the cinema and BYO big screen blockbuster. If you've already burned through your entire movie collection in isolation, you can still hire out this historic theatre for playing video games, hosting birthday parties, or even having your own private karaoke session.
I think what they're also excited about is coming in their onesie and a blankie and ordering in pizza.
Distantly social beats being at home. Taylor Ryan for 10 News First.
After 2 nights of wintry weather, tonight will stay dry. Kate Freeman, that is good news at sports training tonight.
Beck, tonight I'm out at the Broadview Football Club with the Tigers, where it's very cold, but at least it is dry. Sports training only resumed around South Australia this week. If you were out there at your local club on Tuesday night, you might have been hailed on, and last night you might have been rained on. Well, today it's a lot better, but last night that rain was especially heavy down south. This video was filmed where it was really wet down at Happy Valley. The downpour sent bins floating down the street. While our weather photo was taken at Port Noarlunga, Sean Shaw braved the cold to head out onto the jetty to snap this shot of the coastline. In the city overnight, it was very cold. Our low just 6 degrees, and today it only reached 14 degrees in Adelaide at 2 this afternoon. Currently, it's 12. Around the suburbs today, the top was 15 degrees at Elizabeth and Murray Bridge, 14 degrees in Glenelg and Noarlunga, and only 11 degrees in Mount Barker. Across the state, 3 degrees overnight in Port Pirie, and it reached 16 there today. It got to 17 degrees in Ceduna, 16 degrees in Port Augusta, 15 was the top in Woomera, and only 11 in Clare. There were a few odd spots of rain around Clare and Mount Gambier. It reached 16 degrees in Port Lincoln, 15 in Victor Harbour and Kingscote, and 13 degrees in the Barossa. Interstate, the last 2 days have brought record-breaking May rain on Queensland's North Tropical coast. It's been raining in Sydney today too. It reached just 17 degrees, cool by their standards, while in the southeast of the country it's very cold. This morning, the Victorian Alps received a dusting of snow. Melbourne was chilly at 14 degrees, and in the west, Perth reached 20. On the satellite photo, we can see what's generating that rain interstate. There's extensive cloud over nearly all of the northern half of the country. In South Australia, there's cloud through the south, and that's generating the odd shower. Now the cold fronts have moved through. Off New South Wales, there's an east coast low, and that's responsible for driving wet and windy weather up the eastern seaboard. Tomorrow, New South Wales is in for a mix of rain, thunderstorms, hail, snow and blustery winds. Sydney should reach 16 degrees. Another cold and wet day in Melbourne, just 14 degrees. In South Australia, we're in for another cold night, and then tomorrow it's another day of showers for areas south of Port Augusta, just 12 degrees in Clare. It should get to 17 degrees in Port Lincoln, 16 in Victor Harbour. Naracoorte's top is 14, Nooriutpa just 13 degrees. On local waters, seas will stay below 1 metre. There's a chance of a few spots of rain through the hills and southern suburbs tonight, with showers right across the suburbs tomorrow. Cold temperatures too to finish the week, 14 degrees in Elizabeth, just 13 in Mount Barker. In Adelaide, down to 9 degrees overnight, and then tomorrow the showers are back. We're expecting 3 to 8 millimetres of rain and a top of 15 degrees. Looking ahead, there'll be showers right through the weekend. Saturday will be the wetter day with a top of 17 degrees. Sunday, the showers are most likely through the hills and south, heading for 16 degrees in the city. Monday should stay dry, but the showers return on Tuesday.
The remarkable story behind Australia's greatest COVID survival leads our news this hour. A popular eastern suburbs greengrocer forced to defend his sharing of a racist coronavirus joke. And why Santa could find himself making an even longer journey to the Magic Cave this Christmas. Medical staff have stood guard and clapped out the last recovered COVID-19 patient to leave the Royal Adelaide Hospital. Hannah Ford, it's a day that many feared would never arrive.
It is, Beck. Paul Farraguna was admitted to the ICU here at the RA with coronavirus at a time when many others in the same unit weren't winning the fight against this deadly disease. But the 68-year-old held on. He was the first into the ICU and the last out with coronavirus. He today walked himself through a guard of honour to the door after a 2-month stint in hospital, 37 of those days in intensive care, 21 in an induced coma. The 68-year-old was fit and healthy and suffering no underlying health conditions when he contracted the disease on board the ill-fated Ruby Princess cruise ship. His condition went downhill very rapidly and even medical staff didn't think he could make it. But today he proved very well and truly that he has.
definitely a miracle. When you see, I remember seeing him in ICU and just thinking, oh wow, you know, how is he going to come back from this? And then to have him come down, you know, a week or so later to our ward and just watch him get better, like, yeah, definitely a miracle.
Mr Faraguna has thanked the staff here from the bottom of his heart for holding his hand through this long, agonising but very brave battle. He now faces 6 weeks in rehab. He and his family are urging all Australians to download the COVID-19 app, saying it will save lives. Beck.
Thank you, Hannah. A prominent Adelaide greengrocer has apologised for sharing a controversial viral video which has prompted a social media call for his store to be boycotted. But the owner of St Bernard's Fruit and Veg says everyone has their own sense of humour.
John Kapiris has gained notoriety for his flamboyant social media campaigns for his St Bernard's Fruit and Veg.
All as you guys are good for is stuffing up small businesses.
But this time, he's bitten off more than he can chew.
I stuffed up. I shouldn't have posted it. There's no two way about it.
When his business reposted an already widely distributed video in which an Asian man is sneezed on in reference to coronavirus, it was a step too far. Although Mr Kapiris neither produced the clip nor appears in it, he received dozens of angry responses instantly, accusing him of racism. Initially, he returned fire.
What are you going to do then? What are you going to do?
You're a 22-year-old. Now he's apologised.
I am not racist.
And taken down the post, although he's still maintaining it's not offensive.
It was a spray bottle. It was funny. I'm not racist.
Mr Kapiris might regret posting the video online, but he still seeks to justify turning on those who had a go at him.
At the end of the day, you want to treat me like crap, you're going to get crap back.
He says dozens of people have threatened to boycott his business, but says he won't let them bury him. Alan Murrell for 10 News First.
All South Australians want for Christmas is the pageant, but it's unknown whether restrictions on mass gatherings will still be in place for the annual event. The Premier says Santa might have to push his November visit back a little closer to Christmas or possibly extend the route to allow for social distancing between crowds.
Cancelling the Christmas pageant would be a big decision for us in South Australia. We certainly are not in a position to make that call at the moment.
At this stage, at least one mass gathering event plans to go ahead in November. The City Bay moved from its usual September date. The pageant attracts more than 300,000 people each year. South Australians are being asked to rank which order they'd like to see bans eased in a letterbox drop from the state government. The Premier forced to deny he's playing politics in a health crisis. Here's Chloe Boris.
We're missing out on big weddings, overseas travel and the footy. But what would South Australia look like if the people got to decide which restrictions were lifted first? The state government's dropping surveys in letterboxes across metropolitan Adelaide, asking residents to rank what order they would like bans to be eased. But that is, of course, a decision for authorities and the Transition Committee. The distribution of surveys has been slammed by the opposition, which claims they've predominantly gone out to homes in marginal seats, accusing the state government of playing politics.
Well, I thought that we were following the health advice. I thought that we were following the expert advice of the Transition Committee in terms of how restrictions should be eased, not playing a political popularity contest.
We'll look at the health advice, social issues, as well as the economic issues. Talking to communities and then feeding that into the process is something that we would welcome.
The Premier insists the information gathered on community priorities around restrictions won't be used in decision-making post-pandemic.
A 51-year-old driver with a history of crimes behind the wheel has been taken into custody after smashing into a busy shop in Sydney late this afternoon. At least 10 people have been hurt.
It all seems to happen in slow motion, through the smoke and the beeping.
What's wrong?
A minivan emerges. It crosses the busy Greenacre intersection and smashes through the front door of a store.
Glass, clothes and mannequins are strewn across the floor as the car finally comes to a stop. Hijab House was packed, mainly with young women, with Eid, the end of Ramadan, just days away.
10 people in or close to the vicinity of the house have been taken to hospital. One person has serious leg injuries and possibly a second person with serious injuries. The driver of the offending vehicle is also at hospital. He has been under arrest since the incident happened and he's now undergoing blood and urine testing.
At this stage, there is no suggestion the crash was deliberate. Sydney Pede for 10 News First.
Safe Work investigators are on the scene of a fatal tractor accident. A 71-year-old man was pinned under the vehicle when it rolled on a private property at Stirling North near Port Augusta late morning. He died at the scene and a report's being prepared for the coroner. An Adelaide horse trainer has described the moment wild weather ripped the roof off her home and blew it towards her stables. Despite receiving a major fright, none of the animals were injured.
A terrifying moment for the racehorses inside Paula Trenwith's stables.
I've got 5 out there. I've got, 5.5.
Shetland Pony Chocolate is that half. And while he isn't going to be backed by the bookies like last week's stablemate Santa Ana Lane, Paula still feared for his safety when they heard a loud bang.
The roof just blew off.
I've never heard anything like it.
It was a roar, like a freight train coming through the house.
Strong winds tearing the roof off and launching it towards the horse stalls.
It was panic because it was against the stables where the horses are, so my initial thought is the safety for the horses.
SES crews arriving at Ellis Avenue just after 5:30 last night, pulling a tarp over the giant hole. Racing trophies and memorabilia removed from the living room, with fears the roof could cave in.
Just cleaned the house out, so if the ceiling gave way, there was no one in harm's way and we weren't going to lose anything that was irreplaceable.
The homeowners are hoping to have the mess cleaned up before 2 more horses arrive from Melbourne tomorrow. Cam Inglis for 10 News First.
3 men will face court for trafficking methamphetamine and cannabis. They were stopped in a car at Croydon Park yesterday afternoon. The drugs were found in their car and then in associated properties searched in the northern and western suburbs. Police also uncovered 3 replica firearms and thousands in cash. An Ingle Farm man's been reported for drink driving in his 2-wheel drive. He had no passenger front wheel when police spotted his Lancer on Churchill Road at 4:30 this morning. They then discovered one of the rear tyres was down to the rim. The 28-year-old blew nearly 3 times the legal limit. The US has slammed China for its economic revenge on Australia. That's up next. Plus, ducking and weaving to get to the other side. And what the Crows have on offer if you let them keep your 2020 membership cash.
Lockdown restrictions may be easing here at home, but not everyone can head outside. Plus, Kate Langbrook joins us as Italy gets back to business.
Chopsticks at the ready.
We would like you to pimp up these instant noodles.
Your 2-minute noodles are getting a MasterChef makeover.
My mouth is tingling.
All I can say is wow.
The pimped up 2-minute noodles. Tonight on 10.
At UE, we're all about how you use or don't use your car. But right now, most people who usually drive to work aren't. Most people who work from home are driving even less, and most retirees and commuters are homebound. If you are using your car less, we'd like to give you temporary relief on your car insurance premiums. UE clients, go to our website, follow the prompts, and your saving will be applied. Shopping around for car insurance? The same relief applies to you. UE, you insured.
If you're struggling to balance work, life and family, you need to shake it up. Ensure Health Shakes help you get the nutrition you need to help your body build strength from within, with a prebiotic and antioxidants to support a healthy immune system, calcium and protein for muscle and bone health. Put more balance in your work-life balance. Shake it up with Ensure.
Some modems emit Wi-Fi a bit like this. But a Telstra Smart Modem targets your device for faster Wi-Fi. Experience better Wi-Fi with Telstra.
Why build with Weeks? Because we offer a great selection of affordable house and land packages, starting from only $329,000. Compare the difference. You'll get more with Weeks.
You want to make your backyard a place where you want to hang out with your friends. Barbecue, outdoor furniture, put a bit of greenery in there to liven up the place, some cushions, and you're set for entertaining.
Get set for entertaining at home. Who's the goat you love to feel? Get your goat on. Aussie, so you know it's real. Get your goat on. Creamy makes you feel so good. Get your goat on. Rub it on your skin, you know you should. That's right, that's right. Goat soap, the one to choose. It's the only one I use. Look for the original goat range with Frankie the Goat on it. Available at all Chemist Warehouse stores. Get your goat on.
One look at South Australia's CTP choices shows that SGIC wears the state colours on their sleeve. The wonders of data, eh? Choose SGIC, helping South Australians since 1972.
Drake's would like to thank our customers and team for their support and understanding during this period. We are working hard to stock our stores. The health of our customers and team continue to be paramount with additional measures put in place to ensure a safe shopping experience. Now more than ever, it's important to support local business. As an Aussie family business supporting other local family businesses,
we really do appreciate your support.
My wife, before she passed away, she said, get yourself a little dog.
This is Ruby.
Her owner died. When she come in, she was dragging her towel.
She's coming to you now.
Thank you.
That was when her towel went up. She's happy with us.
Yeah. It's a match made in doggy heaven, 7 o'clock Saturday.
Our trade tensions with China could spill over to iron ore. The development comes after the US Secretary of State unleashed on the superpower for threatening economic retaliation against us.
When it comes to the ups and downs of relationships, it hasn't been what you'd call a good week for Australia and China.
China's decision is one that does concern us deeply.
But now an old friend has leapt to our defence.
It's not right. We stand with Australia. The Chinese Communist Party chose to threaten Australia with economic retribution for the simple act of asking for an independent inquiry into the origins of the virus.
President Trump has also accused China of a mass worldwide killing. Tweeting, "Some wacko in China just released a statement blaming everybody other than China for the virus, which has now killed hundreds of thousands of people." This hostile response from the US stems from its own frustrations, but follows China's decision to slap 80% trade tariffs on Australian barley.
I think the timing is more than just coincidental, and it's a part of their past playbook.
To say there are tensions is an understatement.
But let's just recap what's been happening here for the last few years, starting under Malcolm Turnbull. We've been demonising the Chinese and their system of governance.
It was simmering long before COVID-19.
We greatly underestimated the degree to which Beijing is ideologically and politically hostile to free nations. The whole world is waking up to that fact.
But this could be a new tipping point. Amber Austin-Wright for 10 News First.
At least 20 people have been killed and thousands more are feared homeless after Cyclone Amphan barrelled into the coasts of India and Bangladesh. Heavy winds and rain have played havoc with dozens of cities, as well as with the world's largest refugee camp on Bangladesh's border with Myanmar. Seawater has surged 17 kilometres inland, flooding homes and farms. More than 2.6 million people have been evacuated. In California, a doorbell camera has captured the moment a small plane crashed into an elementary school playground, killing the pilot. Fortunately, the school was closed due to the coronavirus pandemic when the aircraft burst into flames on the basketball court. The single-engine plane came down only 6 kilometres from the airport where it was due to land. Troops from Russia's feared National Guard have lent their support to a family of ducks trying to cross a busy road. Traffic was stopped both ways as the 2 adult ducks and their 12 ducklings waddled and quacked their way across 10 lanes near the centre of Moscow. Eventually, they got to the safety of a nearby park, oblivious to what all the fuss was about. From ducks to crows, Will.
That's right.
Members are getting a chance to recoup some of their investment.
Yep, that's right, Beck. Adelaide's released a new set of membership options for 2020, a day after the original 24-hour window closed on supporters seeking financial relief. Refunds are still available, but will cost your Adelaide Oval seat.
In a dire time, even a financial powerhouse like the Adelaide Football Club is nothing without fans.
We do need the support of our members, of our corporate partners to reduce the immense financial burden that will emerge from.
Members have 4 options. They can pledge 100, 75 or 50% of their 2020 membership, maintain rights for at least next year and enjoy other bonuses, or they can call the club and opt out, getting most of their money back but losing the guarantee of a seat in 2021.
If you do cancel your membership, then you lose some of those priority rights, but we do encourage those people who wish to seek a refund to downgrade their membership to a non-access membership for season 2020, and in which case they'll retain all of their rights for season 2021.
So far, less than 200 cancellations have been issued. The website crashed this afternoon, but members still have weeks to decide how to proceed. The AFL is expected to release a fixture tomorrow. A showdown first up, highly likely.
The one thing we certainly asked for was that the showdown is held here in Adelaide, and I just don't think it's right that it's played in Queensland or in Victoria.
If a round 2 showdown does eventuate, both teams will be in town until at least June 15. By then, another fly-in, fly-out proposal will have been tabled to the state government, so players are on their best behaviour, especially after the Barossa breach.
They made a mistake on that occasion, but I'm sure it was a lesson, not just for our players, but for those right across the country to not slip up, not even for a minute.
Max Burford for 10 News First.
Geelong coach Chris Scott has warned those linking Jack Stevens' mental health battles to Saturday's stabbing incident are off the mark. As Katie Price reports, the Cats remain confident Stephen will play a part in their 2020 campaign.
Well, Chris Scott says it's more likely to be a matter of days rather than months before we see Jack Stephen out on the training track. He has spoken to his star recruit, but he's yet to get firm details of exactly what happened on Saturday night.
We'd like to know the circumstances, only so we can help him, so he can help us. But my sense is that there's some feel that Jack might have some sort of case to answer. I haven't seen or heard any information that would imply that.
He's also reiterated reports of how well Stephen was going before the AFL lockdown.
Fun guy. Our players have really warmed to him. He's been a real positive for us through this pre-season.
On the track, the coach is yet to get a firm picture of exactly how his troops have come back, but he believes the AFL lockdown has been good for several of the club's stars.
Dangerfield Dalhouse had some issues, they're pretty good. We played Selwood, he's much better for the lockdown period. Mitch Duncan is very similar. Menegola's very similar. College Asney looks like he'll be able to join in training, so he was months away from playing.
So we'll get a far clearer picture next week when contact training ramps up, but so far so good down at the Cattery.
The Thunderbirds are hopeful of regaining their star imports before the Super Netball season finally gets underway. 3 international players are currently stranded overseas, but Adelaide's working to get them travel exemptions.
Lanice, Shadeen and Layla are desperate to come back. They do want to play, they want to be involved, and they're training, just as hard as everyone else is currently.
Super Netball's due to announce a new start date for the season on the 31st of May. It was the animal kingdom that inspired Muhammad Ali to float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, but it's a very different empire motivating Mike Tyson as he continues to hint at a comeback. He's instead channeling a Chinese communist leader.
I'll fight with the spirit of Mao.
The China reference makes sense, given Mike's latest video was posted on Weibo. As a return to the ring, former world champion Shannon Briggs is the latest link to fight with the 53-year-old former champion. 53, but he's still pretty frightening. Yeah, everything about Mike Tyson is always very normal. Makes a lot of sense.
Thank you, Will. There's more rain on the way for us tomorrow. Your full forecast for Kate Fairbairn is up next.
chopsticks at the ready.
We would like you to pimp up these instant noodles.
Your 2-minute noodles are getting a MasterChef makeover.
My mouth is tingling.
All I can say is wow.
The pimped up 2-minute noodles. Tonight on 10.
Harvey Norman, your premium Optus dealer. Receive a $700 Harvey Norman gift card when you sign up to a new service on the Optus $65 per month SIM-only plan for 24 months with 80 gigabytes of data for use in Oz. That's right. Sign up to a new service on the $65 per month 24-month Optus SIM-only plan and you'll receive a $700 Harvey Norman gift card. Offer ends June 30. New services only, not available with other offers. Harvey Norman, your premium Optus dealer.
Go!
You don't give in. You don't give up. You push on when most would have pushed off. You lend a hand, whether a hand was asked for or not. It's called Aussie Spirit for good reason, because it takes spirit to get through times like these. Lucky you've got it in spades. It's what inspires us to be by your side to help. Together we'll get through this. We always do. Search Toyota, here to help.
Infused oil deluxe crisps from Red Rock Deli.
Telstra's smart modem is backed up by Australia's best 4G network. So if the connection to your house stops, your home Wi-Fi won't. Experience better Wi-Fi with Telstra.
At Terry White ChemMart, we're here to help this winter with expert advice from masterclass trained pharmacists and a huge range of pharmacy-only cold and flu products. Get real winter defence at Terry White ChemMart. Now that's real chemistry.
Ahoy, me hearties! Enjoy Barnacle Bill's Bounty Pack, plus the 1.25 litre Coke for only $24.90. Phone, order, pick up, don't wait. Barnacle Bill's Bounty Pack, only $24.90.
Fresh from the sea, he's gotta be Barnacle Bill.
JB stores are open for business with the hottest deals to keep you connected. Get $150 on the latest 128GB Samsung Galaxy S20 phone. Take 15% off Lenovo and Asus computers and stacks more. Buy in-store, online, click and collect or get it delivered. JB, you've done it again.
Meet Rego. He has a knack of popping up when you least expect him. Hello. 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 So when Rego pops up, choose QBE for CTP for your car and say hello to a $25 e-gift card. Go to qbeforctp.com.au. Ends August 31st. Terms apply.
Up next, the COVID-19 border battle heats up with leaders split on what's best for the country. The push for a major new domestic violence inquiry after the latest completely failed Aussie victims. And are you part of the boomerang generation? And is the coronavirus crisis to blame? The project next.
An Australian fur seal found at Port Fairy has a second chance at life thanks to the efforts of Melbourne Zoo's marine biologists. The 18-month-old was dangerously underweight when it was transferred to the zoo. Given its own tank and plenty of food, it managed to put on 7 kilos in just 2 weeks. Deemed fully recovered, the seal was released and bounded eagerly back into the ocean. There it goes. The rain and hail may have passed, but Kate Freeman, the chill is here to stay.
Training is back at sporting clubs around South Australia, Beck, but this week the weather has been less than ideal. You might have been hailed on, you might have been rained on. Tonight, not too bad. Here at the Broadview Footy Club, so far, so good. Tonight's weather photo was taken down at the beach on a beautiful day, obviously not over the last few days. Louis the German Shepherd was taking in the sunset down at the beach after a big run through the water. A very good boy. Overnight in Adelaide it was very chilly. Our low was 6 degrees and today it stayed cold. Just 14 degrees at 2 o'clock was our top and currently only 11 degrees in the city. On the satellite photo, there's extensive cloud through the northern half of the country. In South Australia, there's a bit of cloud through the south, and that's generating the odd shower. Now the cold fronts have moved through. Off New South Wales, there's an east coast low, and that is responsible for driving wet and windy weather up the eastern seaboard today. Tomorrow, New South Wales is in for a mix of rain, thunderstorms, hail, snow and blustery winds. Sydney should reach 16 degrees. It should be mostly sunny in Brisbane and 20, with another cold and wet day in Melbourne, 14's the top. In South Australia, we're in for another cold night, and then tomorrow it's another day of showers for areas south of Port Augusta. Tops of 15 degrees for Port Pirie and Maitland and 12 in Clare. It should get to 17 degrees in Port Lincoln. Nooriutpa just 13 degrees, so very cold through the Barossa. On local waters, seas will stay below a metre. There's a chance of a few spots of rain in the hills and southern suburbs tonight, with showers throughout tomorrow. In Adelaide, down to 9 degrees overnight, and tomorrow the showers are back. We're expecting 3 to 8 millimetres of rain and a top of 15. Looking ahead, there'll be showers through the weekend. Saturday will be the wetter day with a top of 17 degrees. On Sunday, the showers are most likely through the hills and south, heading for 16 degrees in the city. Then Monday should stay dry, but the showers are back on Tuesday. So Beck, it's looking like another wet week for Adelaide.
Thank you, Kate. That's Adelaide's 10 News First for now. Enjoy your evening. Take care. Good night.
Tonight, the COVID-19 border battle heats up with leaders split